Protect your family. But which family?
I don't think we've ever hugged before.
You're probably gonna die, so might as well get one in before you go.
The Brother's Son is a show on Netflix that has no reason being as good as it is. I'll be honest, this show's temp is all over the place. But in a good way. It has great action and thrills. It has a dose of a crime caper sprinkled in with a love story. But it's mostly family drama centered around Eileen and her two polar opposite sons, Bruce and Charles. Big Son, the husband and father, is almost killed, so Charles heads to America to retrieve his mother and his brother. The rift is very clear from the beginning that they were raised in two very different but similar ways. Charles is raised to be a stone-cold assassin, a weapon of his father's wielding, the most loyal soldier, his son. Bruce is raised to be a smart and good kid, to be a doctor. I love how polar opposite these brothers are in the sense of they don't want to be what their parents raised them to be, but they're also left to follow their orders. Again, similar but different. Charles shows a love for baking, a hobby that's actually his passion, while Bruce loves improv and doesn't want to be a doctor in the slightest. Both of their lives are on a course that'll crash. And honestly, it leads to a lot of great moments. Charles begins to soften up, laugh, and open up more emotionally to a former childhood friend while contemplating if there's a way out of their life. While the irresponsible Bruce learns to think of others and mature quite a bit. He's often forced in situations where he has to get creative because he's not as tough or as trained as Charles, because Charles, well, check this out. And yes, before you question, that was a cover of Sheryl Crow's The Deepest. Now, all that said, I want to talk about a strategist that's so inventive she would give Batman a run for his money. That is Mama Sun, Ellen's son, played by Michelle Yeoh. Initially, she's sent to America as an insurance policy. In the world of the Triads, no one can know who the other people's identities are, but she did manage to figure it out. She bargained her knowledge with Big Son, arguably the most powerful of all the crime bosses because, well, he has her as an insurance policy. If anything happens to him, the names come out and people die. But this insurance policy only works if Mama Sun is far away and hiding with her youngest boy. I think it's kind of funny but cool. Her gangster name is actually the Rolodex because she's able to find information. She knows everyone and everything. At one point during the show, she goes to play mahjong with a bunch of older ladies. And you think, oh, they're just, hanging out like your aunts would. No, turns out she's gathering information because all those ladies are connected with various people, whether they're managers, they know the mayor, they know senators or whatnot, their nieces or nephews or in-laws of somewhat. It's really interesting. At one point she uses this to figure out where this massive assassin lives because he has custom-made shoes. It's insane, but it's also really smart. This show isn't clean at all. There's no clear versus battle. It's the Triad gangs versus the Brother's Son versus the police versus the Boxers, a frankly understandable gang led by Grace. The Boxers mostly comprise of kids of immigrants that were abused by the Triads. All of this leads to a series of a lot of twists and turns, along with a story that equates to, well, an onion. It's very layered. And with each section comes more getting to love these characters, getting to know these characters. Also, real quick, shout out to Blood Boots, he's the best. The series culminates in Bruce having to protect his family from his father. On the surface, there's only two options: kill his dad or let him live. Bruce, shockingly, picks door number 3. He shoots his father and gives him a phone to call 911. And he leaves the option to his dad. He can either bleed out or he can call 911 and be arrested. It's up to him. Also, in like a 3D chess kind of way, because he didn't kill his dad, his family can't be shunned. And his brother's released from jail. It's a multi-win story. Maybe the best testament to how great the show is that it's quickly paced, but at the end, we see each character enjoying their victory and we bask in it alongside them. Their victories are our victories. In the end, with each of them making their own choices, Bruce goes back to school, but pursues improv. Charles bakes, and Eileen will go back to Taiwan to lead the Triads to reshape them in her image with Charles in tow. Thus kind of setting us up for season 2, which they haven't ordered yet, but I really hope they do. This is a cliffhanger and there should be multiple seasons, which I'm looking forward to, but for now, this show, it's an easy A. It's a great binge watch and I recommend it to everyone. The episodes are between 15 minutes to an hour, give or take, but again, this is worth it. Even if it's spread over the course of a few days, you won't help but want to keep watching because of how quickly it's paced. But what did you all think of the brother-son? Go and let me know down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll catch y'all next time. We'll see you, everybody.